Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
It is Tuesday, May 2nd. We are here. We are going to give our full Mandalorian Season 3 sort of reaction and review. Again, if you're here listening, thank you so much. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a review. Let us know how we're doing, and let us know how you're finding us. We'd love to hear from you. So anyway, with that, let's get into our segments. Joe, how's the horror corner looking?
It's looking good. So Evil Dead Rise is killing it in theaters.
Did you get a chance to go see it?
I did not, unfortunately. I'm really trying to get out there and get it.
I'm so bummed. I was supposed to see it last Thursday. I forgot that was art night at the school. Jamie hates horror movies. Mike hates horror movies, so I was going to go with Just Gina to go see it.
Hates horror movies? I'm so confused right now.
So it needs to have a happy ending.
Isn't that what?
Sometimes they have happy endings, but she's not a big. Sometimes she likes horror movies, like we watched. Oh God, it'll come back to me in a second. We watched some scary-ish movie the other night. And she was okay with that. And she watched Barbarian with me, you know, like if I'm into it, she'll sort of entertain it. But the trailers for Evil Dead Rises were just too scary for her. so that was the big with that. So yeah. But I'm so sorry, Joe. I've completely hijacked.
Oh no, it's fine.
She is down to watch. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for this, The Platform on Netflix.
No.
Okay, so it's a prison levels, right? And the not so bad criminals get all the good food, right? Then when they're done, the platform goes down to the second tier of criminals. They get the leftovers.
Oh no.
And then it goes down to the third tier. It's a foreign movie. It's dubbed on Netflix, but it's getting some really good reviews. So I'm gonna have to. And Jamie's willing to see that one. So
it's like trickle down theory and practice with edibles.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
But
the spoilers, it doesn't work.
Right. The trailer looks killer. The trailer looks good. And again, like I said, it's been getting decent reviews. So anyway, sorry, Joe. Evil Dead Rises killing it in theaters. Go.
It is killing it. And I finally watched a Knock at the Cabin.
How was that?
Next Shyamalan Ding Dongs. Next
one.
Sorry, what?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Really?
I have a soft spot for Batista, so I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good in this, and
nice.
It's like super interesting, and then I kind of got a little like sidetracked because like I was like, oh man, this is like M. Night Shyamalan actually did a really interesting, cool movie, and then I realized it's based off a book, and I'm like, oh damn it, it's not even his story.
Right.
Yeah, we need him to get back to his.
I would put this with like, what's the one with the blind gal?
Village.
The Village. I would put this like kind of in the Village category. Like it's not Signs, but it's not like way down. It's like in the middle. It's a good one.
Okay.
But yeah, it's got Rupert Grint, who we all know, Ron Weasley.
That's right. Yeah.
Who gets super aggro in it, which is interesting to see.
Nice.
I'm like, okay.
It's probably in his writer, like make me be as far away from Ron Weasley as I could possibly be.
Yeah, Knock at the Cabin. It's a family goes and rents a cabin in the woods, just get away for a while, and they get met with these people that are saying the world's going to end unless you help us, and you have to make these impossible decisions. And it's like, okay, are these people just crazy, or are they legit and the world's really going to end? So it's like that weird, like trippy M. Night vibe.
Nice.
But Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And
Nice.
at the end of it, I was like, okay, yeah, well done, sir.
Okay.
It's not signs by any means, but it's
Right.
good.
Okay. Well, how many side kittens?
Two maybe. I mean, like if we're talking side kittens as creepy, weird, gory,
Okay.
it's fairly tame. It's more of
Okay.
a psychological mindfuck.
Okay.
So there
Nice.
is a couple of like violent scenes in it.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But other than that, it's fairly just more mindfuck, psychological. Like you have to do this, or this is going to happen, and they're both horrible, impossible situations.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're talking like Saw type shit or what?
Like you have to choose between your family and the entire world.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Oh,
So,
all right.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
check
and-
it out. It's actually I need to look to where it is available because that's another Mr. Soup.
Oh yeah. Provided by Mr. Soup.
Provided by Mr. Soup.
Nice.
This segment sponsored by Mr. Soup Horror.
Yeah, and good to know because it's basically $20 on any streaming service you have. So
Oh wow. Okay.
Nice.
Cool. I thought it was available on the cock.
Oh, it might.
Excuse me. How big is it? You can watch TV on that thing? Only horror movies, though.
Right. Yeah.
You
Only
got
body horror.
about 2 hours of cock.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And the show is at a new low.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry. You're a streaming service and you have cock in your name. I can't not call it that.
I
Right?
mean, and P
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
So no, we're
You
gonna
either-
watch that.
You're
We'll
either gonna
probably
be
watch-
pee or cock, either way.
Right. Yeah. Probably gonna watch that on the cock this weekend. Hey, see, it rolls off the tongue.
It
I
really
mean, come on.
does.
I prefer the Bulldog Network, but personally,
Right.
oh, I might have just revealed too much. Ew.
Oh yeah, it's just like how I used to call Walnut Creek the Nut. I
Mhm.
love, hey, what?
The
We're hanging out in the
Nut.
nut tonight. Come on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Meet me in the net.
Nobody says that.
I know
Continue.
nobody does.
Moving
I did.
on.
Nobody else
Moving on.
does. So sorry. I know I'm a child. I am. I really am.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah. Joe, anything else? Horror Corner?
that's it for me. Short and sweet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the it wasn't a horror movie by any way, shape, or it was more of another sort of like not a murder mystery, but there was there's a Mila Kunis movie that just dropped on Netflix called The Luckiest Girl Alive. And she is a survivor of a mass school shooting.
Oof.
And there's a lot of mystery as to why she was spared and what happened on that day. And they uncover obviously during the movie what happens. And it was a really interesting watch. It was a very heavy movie.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, you think?
Well, yeah, and you walk away from it like, man, it's because there's like, you find this out in the first few minutes of the movie that this is what happened, but I mean, there's a whole other, like several layers of shit that happen that go down in the movie.
Geez.
So yeah, so it sort of piles it on, which is nuts. So yeah. So anyway, with that, we'll jump into the shit you should be watching right now. And Nate, I don't say this a whole lot on the podcast, but I'm gonna say it. Nate, you were right.
Wait, hang on. Mark the
right.
date and time, May 2nd, 2023, 7:19 and 32 seconds ish. What? Say that again.
So, Nate, you were right.
Yeah.
So for regular listeners of our podcast, I received shit last week for not watching Ted Lasso.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's a fucking easy one.
And I was part of the group that I didn't necessarily get it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I had recently watched the free one that's available to anybody, the pilot episode, and I was just like, all right, I can kind of see where this is good. I completely binged it. I'm caught up.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so the new one comes out tomorrow, right? The next episode comes out tomorrow, season 3. Dude, I mean,
Wow, I'm a week behind you then, because I'm
Okay.
waiting to watch last week's with Annie.
oh man.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty
all right,
intense.
so
So don't say anything. Don't.
No, I'm not
don't
gonna
about it.
say. I mean, I'm just gonna Roy fucking Kent, man. He's
Yeah,
so good.
Like I said, don't say anything. Fucking
No,
crazy.
that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, anyway,
I'm gonna
characters
unrecommend shit.
yeah, there are characters in this show that are just fantastic. You genuinely care about everybody in here. It's I mean it's not just a show about an American coaching football, right? It's man, it's so great, and it's just so well written. It's so everybody in there does just such an incredible job. I mean, great to see Anthony Stewart Head on the screen again too.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, Anthony Stewart Head's in this.
Yeah.
You have my attention now.
Yeah,
It's one of the best shows ever made, Joe. Even if you don't
Yeah,
like the football part of it is just a backdrop, really.
It's so minimal,
It's a
right?
vehicle.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
hand egg sports ball?
No,
Right.
this is soccer, so it's
This is-
actual football.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actual
it's
football, not
football.
American football. Yes,
The foot sphere netball.
right. Yeah. But no, Anthony Stewart Head plays the ex-husband, the ex-owner of the club that Ted Lasso is now coaching.
He's a
and,
good deal. Yeah.
Oh man, so good in this, and man, he looks great too. Anyway,
Well, good to
What?
good to
He's a good-
hear.
he's a good-looking man, but I mean, it's been a while since I've seen him on Buffy, but no, he looks great.
He's getting older in years, so good to hear he looks
Yeah. But no, man, dude, you hit the nail on the head. Dude, Beard is such a great character.
Oh my god, the quotes and the quips that come out of Jason Sudeikis and Beard's mouth, like taking on challenge is a lot like riding a horse, isn't it? Like shit like that. This is all just, it makes no sense in the setup, but the delivery is poignant every time.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so good.
and this
I do love a locker room. Like,
right. Yeah, I
just-
know. Right? This and not just those elements, but then the interspersing of movie quotes in the natural dialogue is how I converse with people.
Yeah. Well,
And
the shit that Head throws out. Head is the name of the Beard, excuse me, not Head.
Yeah, Beard.
Beard is the name for the assistant coach, but he throws out, he's like the brains of the operation, and he throws out just these amazing one-line references. I'm trying to remember one that I was, oh my god, something about, it was basically, he was referring to the Muppet Show, and it took a minute for Ted Lasso to get it and go, gotcha, time to start the music, kind of thing. Like it was it was that kind of shit. But it's all the side characters. I'm sorry, I don't want to take over your quick
No, please. I hijacked Joe's. It's only natural that you hijack mine.
So this is the show that one of the writers became basically the star of the show. They're writing episode 3 or 4 of the show, and the writer's like, I think I'm fucking Roy Kent. And he basically sent in never acted before in his life, writer sent in a reel to, I forget exactly who he sent it to. I'm pretty sure it was like the writer's room and the executives. If this is off base, then let me know. But I think I'm fucking Roy Kent. And he's very like soft spoken normally and not like aggro at all. But the character's like, get fucking pissed, just very in your face. He's an old school player who's kind of gone through it and now is coming back. He's like at the end of his career and the beginning of the show kind of thing. But basically they said, well, nobody did a better audition than you, so you got it. And he won the fucking Golden Globe for it. Or the Emmy for it in the first season. So all of the characters, like the new owner is amazing. Kaylee is amazing. Like every character is fucking great. It's just brilliantly written TV, and it has so much fucking heart in it. It's like, how does his act? He must be a monster if his wife
right.
walked out on him, because Jesus Christ, everything I've ever
Yeah.
seen from Jason Sudeikis, he's like, yeah, life
Yeah.
goals. You want to be that guy, like,
Right.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry.
No. So again, Nate, you were right.
Mhm. Thank you. Wow, that's a lot in one day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle that. Hang on, you might want to turn off your monitor real quick. Sorry. Okay. I'm almost there. Keep saying
Oh,
it.
good God.
Okay.
Good
Yikes.
God, man.
Hey, and the show is at a new low.
Right. Yeah. So and then Jamie and I watched second season of Carnival Row, the final season on Amazon Prime.
That still. Fuck.
Man, such a downer. It was good, but again, you're dealing with a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And
well, it was supposed to go for 4 seasons or something, right? And they only got extended for one, kind of wrap it up box.
Right. Yeah. And they do a good job in it. They do a really good job in it. And again, people do like it's well acted, but man, they throw in a lot. They throw a lot at us. And it is a very satisfying end. I will say that. So if you like the first season, certainly give the second season a watch. Other than that, Yellow Jackets. I know I said this last time, but man,
it's on my list too. Shit.
Show just gets better and better.
I haven't even watched the first season.
I keep hearing about it all the time on like Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, it's the sort of the balance between the young actresses and the old actresses portraying the same characters are just it's so good. And Juliette Lewis is great, but man, like Christina Ricci, she's so good. She's just so good in this. She's just like slightly unhinged and off kilter, and her with Elijah Wood this season is everything I ever wanted in a sort of a buddy comedy. It really is. It's so good. I can't say enough about it. If you haven't watched Yellow Jackets yet, please watch Yellow Jackets.
I'll have to look up this new up and coming actress. What's her name? Christina.
I know. God damn it. I keep saying it wrong. Is it Ricci?
Yeah.
Ricci.
Okay.
Christina Ricci. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's me.
I'm sorry. It happens every time. I got.
I know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So that's it for shit you got to watch. So Nate, Marvel Minute.
Shit you got to watch. I don't know, man. Streaming selection of the week. I like that a little better. Working title.
Let me sleep on it.
Shit you gotta watch. Yeah, we'll workshop that.
Okay, yeah.
Big week for Marvel, man. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3 comes out.
That's right.
Gardens of the Galaxy?
I said Guardians. Thank you. I have been drinking IPA.
Thank you,
so, give me a
I heard gardens.
Okay. Check your ears. No, I probably did say that. Anyway, GOTG V3 drops this week, and it's getting crazy good reviews and like crying emojis, which is all, no spoilers. It's in the trailers. Shit's going down. We'll see how it goes. I'm taking Addie and Annie to see it Thursday night, so we don't get anything spoiled. I was going to wait till like the Tuesday discount, whatever, because fuck Fandango and their goddamn $7 processing fee for 3 tickets.
Oh yeah,
like, God, get out of here. Anyway, but we're going on Thursday just to make sure nothing gets spoiled, and it's kind of a big deal. I've taken Addie to all of them, and Annie's a huge fan too, so it's perfect.
Nice.
We're gonna have a good time. So that's happening on Thursday. It's gonna be fucking crazy. Apparently, they were originally gonna make this a Groot and Rocket movie instead of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh,
they were gonna do like a prequel of Groot and Rocket, and that was from James Gunn. He's like, I always thought it was a third movie thing. We had to tell Peter Quill's story first to get to Rocket's story, and then the only question was this movie going to be a Rocket and Groot movie, or was it going to be Guardians 3? Because initially I was going to do it as Rocket and Groot, which is still a thing, could still be a thing in the future. So we'll see what happens there. Super excited for that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse gets a record-breaking runtime. Apparently, are you guys getting an echo at all?
No.
Okay, weird. Apologies.
That's okay.
1612. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the new Spider-Man movie, is getting a record-breaking runtime at 2 hours and 20 minutes, which apparently is like the longest ever major Hollywood studio animated movie, which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you've got Consuming Spirits and the Lord of the Rings original animated thing, I Am Nightmare, Fantasia. Those are all 2 hours and change, but less than this one. So just a cool little tidbit for you. I don't think we really need this Marvel news. Margot Robbie eyed for massive Marvel superhero role. There's a rumor that she's been offered as the role of Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four reboot to go alongside Adam Driver, because apparently he's in talks to play Reed Richards. So I don't know.
I like it because it's Adam Driver, but I don't see it as Reed Richards.
No, I mean, I love her as Harley Quinn. I don't see her as Sue Storm either. Like, I don't see him as Reed Richards either. I kind of want young unknowns, to play this role, but it just depends on where they're going to be in the timeline. And I think what's going to happen is there was a subtle throwback in Multiverse of Madness where Doctor Strange is talking to Reed Richards. We saw him on the screen briefly, and he's like, "Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?" So I think what's going to happen is they're going to model the Fantastic Four as like people at a time situation.
Oh, interesting.
Getting stuck in the quantum realm or something like that.
Sure.
And then coming back in. So it's going to take a little more acting chops, I think, than newcomers would have. So I could see them putting in people like Driver and Margot Robbie. Because they are great actors, regardless of what we think about them in their role. So
sure.
Interesting. It's just a rumor that she's been offered it, so she doesn't mean she's necessarily has it. Necessarily has it or has accepted it.
See, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Well, I blame the day.
No, of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on. There's a writer strike. If you guys didn't know.
It's on.
That kicked off today. They didn't come to an agreement by midnight last night. So 6 upcoming Marvel movies that could suffer from the 2023 writer strike, because it's all about us and the MCU.
Right.
And not about the writers, but it was a good article. So we got Thunderbolts coming up July 26th, Blade. For next year. Thunderbolts coming up July 26th, Blade September next year. Deadpool 3 November next year, Fantastic Four February 25, Avengers King Dynasty 25, and then Avengers Secret Wars 25. So those are all, or 26, excuse me. So those are all just major MCU movies that are going to get hit by the writer strike potentially. Hopefully they come to an agreement soon, because without the writers there is nothing. So pay those fucking people. And while we're at it, kick some of that fucking Marvel money down to the teachers. Let's spread all of that around. Come on now. Let's see. Without the teachers, we got no writers. God damn it. Let's go all the way to the beginning. Disney Plus reveals mature TV rating for Marvel's next show. So apparently Secret Invasion's getting a mature rating in the UK. So that's interesting, because the UK is definitely a little more lenient than we are over here when it comes to stuff like that.
Do we have Samuel Jackson to blame?
Right. Yeah. You get one motherfucker every episode, motherfucker. Just one.
That was 2, Sam. Thanks.
Yeah. How do you say a quarter pounder with cheese? Yeah. So that was good. The previews are fucking nuts, man. I'm so excited for Secret Invasion. They just
it does look fun. Yeah.
They dropped a new trailer. I think it was today. Where it actually shows they talk about Super Skrulls, and it shows a little bit of that whole program and how it's going to be in the show. So I'm really excited for it. Plus we get the Mother of Dragons in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see. So James Gunn news disagrees with some of the Avengers Infinity War decisions. So he was actually kind of not bummed, but he said that like Star-Lord wouldn't have punched Thanos and caused that whole situation in Infinity War, when they're about to take the glove off Thanos and then he punches him in the face. I always thought that was really ham-fisted, pardon the pun, but yeah, I totally agree with him. Like he's not that dumb. I mean, I get emotional, but
well, I mean, and that's an interesting thing too when you give birth to a franchise, not a segmented part of the franchise, and they're characters that you write and you own, not necessarily own, but you own their voice
and that version,
and their
the
actions
MCU
to a
version
degree.
Of that, right? Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And so, and again, I always thought this was weird that do you have other people direct them and write for them?
Nope.
Is hard because you're not necessarily getting that, I mean, and
George Lucas feels you.
Right. No, I mean, totally. Yeah. And I mean, it was a lot of, one of the many reasons why the DC movies were all over the place as well.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I get it too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I totally agree with him. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen to those characters moving forward now that he's with the DC. So I'm so excited that he's running that shit now. Like, I can't wait. The Flash trailer is before him, but fuck, if that's any example of the kind of stuff we're going to get, holy shit. I haven't been excited for a trailer like that since like the Infinity War stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the other Marvel movies aside are cool, but this looks fucking insane.
Yeah, and so I watched a lot of the non-spoiler reviews for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and
already?
they all said that this gets Marvel back on track. Like everyone's saying that it's hey, it's
that's what I've heard.
If others were like foul balls for this was a home run by any means, and the underlying tone of everything is like, thank God he's in charge of DC now.
Yeah, I've heard, I've seen a couple articles thrown around like best Marvel movie ever,
right?
Which is, I mean, it's not
ones
film, not high film or whatever, according to Scorsese, but that's a big roto-hope. There's a bunch of really, really good movies, but
yeah, well, the three reviewers I saw said best Marvel movie since Endgame.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when he said that he was going to write and direct Superman Legacy, like it's just like, man, I is it going to be any good? And then like hearing these reviews, I'm like, it's got it. I mean, and Brightburn was so fucking good too.
Yeah, I mean, consider the stuff that he's done too. It's not just that; it's Peacemaker and a bunch of all the little side stuff that's been pretty major, but not giant films. Like this guy doesn't do bad shit, or at least he's got a great track record in the last decade. So
right, at least he knows how to speak to us.
Yeah,
the crazy
and
that's
hair, man.
right. And no, and yeah, and that's the thing for sure. So yeah, this got me more excited. Where I was a little sort of ho hum that he was going to handle Superman. I was like, you know what? No, I'm good.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see what happens with that. Sorry, that was a big. We just dove into the DC universe there. Oh my god, I'm burning like it's holy water.
Well, no, you can't not connect them now because James Gunn was such a part of the Marvel thing.
I know. Trust me, I know. Okay, moving on. So Marvel's Rhino villain confirmed for live action return in the 2023 movie Kraven the Hunter. So one of the subplots, I guess, of Kraven the Hunter is that he's hunting the Rhino villain, and this is not like Paul Giamatti in the mech suit. This is a like mutated juggernaut-sized version of the Rhino, like from the comic books, where he was like the big giant Rhino guy. So, and it's confirmed that it's going to have an R rating, which will be really cool. I think. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the teaser trailer, but the footage starts with Kraven biting a dude's nose off. Like it's going to be crazy, bloody, violent, like good shit. So
this is Aaron Taylor Johnson, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It is
nice.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that movie. It's coming out this year, so that'll be great. Let's see. So recently, Disney Plus finally is gathering all the Spider-Man stuff underneath its giant umbrella. For some reason, I mean, obviously it's like licensing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Most of the Spider-Man stuff was not under Disney Plus, and now pretty much everything is, with the exception of Amazing Spider-Man 2. So almost every other Spider-Man thing, with the exception of Homecoming and Venom, those are both coming to Disney Plus on Friday, May 12th. We're going to get that Amazing Spider-Man, which is arguably one of the better Spider-Man movies ever made, visually at least, is going to be joining them sometime in 2023, and then all of the Spider-Men will be under the evil overlord that is Disney Plus. So then, kind of to wrap this thing up, not so good news, obviously. We talked about this last time. Jonathan Majors and this continuing saga. Apparently his alleged victim, because that's what it says in the article, was granted a full restraining order ahead of, full temporary order of protection for the victim per the people's request and with consent of defense counsel. He is slated to show up in court May 9th to address the various charges filed against him recently. So he's been dropped. Him and his legal team are both insisting on his innocence. That hasn't stopped his public image from being affected.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been dropped by his management company and his publicist already, but Disney has not dropped him. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, they can't do it until Loki season 2 airs, and
right.
I'm sure he's filmed other stuff for other projects already.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, we talked about that last time. It's going to be
Disney. Yeah, Disney was Ezra Millard essentially.
Yeah, well,
you can't speak ill of him until you're completely done.
Yeah, well, Ezra Miller has been found guilty of kidnapping and breaking and entering and a bunch of stuff. So,
well, yeah,
kind of apples and oranges, but yes.
But WB never said anything.
Oh yeah, no, they
so that's my reference there.
No, I hear
is that Disney's not going to say anything about this,
right?
Unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah, it says while it's unclear if Disney is removing him from the MCU, there have been reports that discussions are being made. It's worth noting that Jonathan Majors was set to be an important player for Marvel MCU moving forward as King the Conqueror, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, if he's guilty, put him in fucking jail. I don't want to deal with,
absolutely.
I don't want to deal with the comeback trail. Like, that was the thing that always bugged me with people like Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys and people like that. Like, you are a shit human. You do not deserve stardom and all the money and life that comes with it. You deserve to be in a cage. Like, it's nope.
Yeah. I thought the picture you posted with KB Lame as as King was great.
It's like the the best meme ever.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah. So sorry, that was a little kind of a downer way to end the they don't all make it out alive.
Right. It's all good. That's all good. So with that, let's talk Mando season 3.
I got a couple quick things to throw in first. Is that okay? Quick aside.
Yeah. No.
So number 1, Return of the Jedi is in theaters until May the 4th.
That's right.
If you have a chance to go see it, do it. I'm taking Addie to go see it tomorrow because I don't know if I'll ever have that chance again.
Right.
So I think it's the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing in the theater. I saw it at the Dome in Pleasant Hill with my dad. I remember waiting in line for it. I'm fairly certain I was in utero for the first movie, and I'm pretty sure I was probably a screaming baby during Empire. But I know for a fact I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater with Pops. So we watched Empire, or at least the first half of Empire, the other day. Addie was so just beat from 4 shows of the Sound of Music that she was in for school, just completely toast. So she made it through about half of it and then fell asleep. Like, I get it, kid. It's a long movie, but we're gonna finish that up, and then we're gonna go see Return of the Jedi tomorrow. So
That's awesome.
that's a big one, and then that dovetails into just a quick game thing. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out this week
Yes.
or last
How
week,
is
Friday.
it?
It is the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order with Cal Kestis and company. It's fucking fantastic unless you buy it on PC, because apparently the PC port is fucking dog shit.
Really?
Like, just on certain configurations, basically it's unplayable. Like the frame rates are terrible. It just, the PC port is terrible.
It's usually the other way around, isn't it?
Well, not lately. Apparently it's been a thing where a bunch of these AAA games are getting just terrible PC ports, which makes no sense because of how powerful computers are.
Right.
Especially the bleeding edge rigs are light years ahead of the consoles. So
yeah.
Major patch dropped on the 1st, which is supposed to help the PC people. We had a patch for PS5 and Xbox today. I haven't had a chance to check that out yet. But I did notice a bunch of bugs in my playthrough, a bunch of really like hair and clothing misbehaving and articles colliding. And I went through, I'm pretty sure I'm relatively far in the story, and I fought a major boss, and as the finale of that fight is happening, the boss art is like clipping all over the screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really, really major bugs you should not have shipped a title with. Like it, and they're,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially a Star Wars title.
Well, yeah, especially a AAA title from EA and a Star Wars title, right? Like, anyway, it's amazing. The story is great. It's a very adult. It's much more adult than the first game.
Okay.
And you're not like the Padawan that was hiding kind of thing. You're a full-on Jedi Knight. You have all your abilities from the first game, basically, and you're just a badass.
Oh, awesome.
Going through the story, and then they expand on that. So
that's such a great thing, because usually the second game you go through a level and you lose all your powers and you spend the rest of the game trying to get them back.
That's
this is incredible.
It's 5 years later, you've got a 5 o'clock shadow and you've seen some shit. Like,
right.
They added 2 new two new lightsaber stances to the game, which isn't a spoiler at all. One of them is a blaster stance, which is fucking dope.
Yeah.
So you've got like more of a Dooku fencing style single saber in one hand, and then your offhand is a blaster. So you combine that into stuff. And then the other one is a Kylo Ren style hilt crossguard, but claymore size blade. So it's very slow, but hits super hard and sends guys flying.
Nice.
And they also have dismemberment in this version. So you're cutting off arms and heads and shit's flying everywhere.
Which is true to Star Wars. I mean, come on. Let's sever some shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, even in the old game,
every hand be damned.
Well, yeah, they had actually, I remember they had cheats in like Jedi Knight where you could turn on super evisceration, basically. And there's just body parts flying everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. The story so far is really good. And the way they kind of revisit some of the characters from the first game and then bring you into the second one is just done really well. So bugs aside, the bugs are enough to kind of take you out of it sometimes. Like, we'll go to light speed to travel and it's just blank. It's like, there's the planet and a blank star field instead of you going through it and then, zooming in. But anyway, it's really good. All bugs aside, and I'm having fun. It's gonna be a heartbreaker when it's done. So
yeah. Did you see the Mark Hamill, Cameron Monaghan promo?
Yes, that's right. Where he's showing him how to do it. He's like, "You don't need to tell me how to use a lightsaber, son."
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's really great, and I hope that he ends up in one of these Star Wars series. Hopefully, he's in Ahsoka, or something. We'll see. But
yeah, that would be great if they crossed the streams a little bit with that.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll have to be much older though, because his stuff is happening timeline wise the same time as the Obi-Wan series.
Right. Yeah.
So that's Vader still alive then, and you run into Vader in the first game. Yeah. So he might be too old to play that, or not old enough to play that role, because everything that's current in the Mandoverse is much further down the line, right?
Yeah, but it's easy to age them up a little bit. I mean, it would be kind of fun to see an old age makeup Cameron Monaghan, like old grizzled, like I mean,
veteran,
come
like
on.
veteran Luke. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
you
time he
know?
doesn't throw the lightsaber over his shoulder.
Right. So
yeah, well, let's
Yeah,
talk.
anyway.
Let's dovetail right into that Mando shit.
Let's do
man.
it. Yeah.
We got some Mando shit to talk about. 86% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 50% audience score for season 3. So there's a lot of shit happening in Mando season 3. I guess we can just talk quickly about the eps and then we'll go over our overall thoughts. But
yeah, no, lead us.
Yeah, cheers. So chapter 17, episode 1 of this season is titled The Apostate. And basically you're getting back to the crew. So the armor and a group of Mandalorians is holding a ceremony to induct a young child into the tribe. Ceremony is interrupted by the biggest fucking giant turtle, dragon turtle, something. And the clan is trying to defend themselves, and they're basically toast until they're saved by Din Djarin and Grogu in their fancy little ship and some proton torpedoes. Armor confirms that the mines of Mandalore still exist, and that Din can become a Mando once more once he bathes in the waters and all that. Din Djarin flies back to Navarro and meets up with Greef Karga and tries to do like the epic hand clap heard around the world. Doesn't really work, but Greef Karga has cape droids,
Right.
which is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Pirates kind of jump in and we get Sal the Hutt, which is one of the best memes ever.
Right.
They try Din Djarin wants to rebuild IG-11. They try to do that, but the droid tries to kill Grogu and antics ensue. They go to search for a new memory core for the droid, and as Din leaves Navarro, the pirate crew attacks his ship, but Din escapes, and then Din Djarin meets up with Bo-Katan in an old Mando castle on the moon of Mandalore, and she reveals that after losing the Darksaber, she was abandoned by her crew. I don't want to do this for all of them. Sorry, it's going to be a lot.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
I'd say in general, like the intro was reasonably strong. It was fun getting back to see some of the old characters. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, do we even want to do like a play-by-play situation?
Well, because I think we already did the first couple.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We did the
you're
first few episodes, and I know that we did. Didn't we briefly comment on Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd being
we did.
back in?
Yeah, we did. So maybe why don't we just
can discuss from there? We can discuss from the
last
cameo
2 eps.
centric.
Guns
episodes.
for hire, so we could talk about the last 2 then. All right, so 7 and 8 were actually pretty good. So chapter 7 is entitled the Spies, which everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
So earlier in the series, there's a whole episode that has no Mando in it. It's about the reformation of the Empire high command and valuable assets. So Dr. Pershing being the main one who's in charge of the whole cloning experiments, and a couple other side commanders that used to work for Moff Gideon. And so that whole episode, the whole reason they spent that much time on it is to set up what happens in episode 7, The Spies, where you find out that she is in fact a spy for Moff Gideon, and everyone, this sent the internet ablaze because it's called The Spies. Is the armorer a spy? Is one of the other Mandos a spy? Who's the spy? Like, I know I was doing that. This one was actually written by Favreau and Filoni, and ends up being really cool. Joe, you're caught up officially, right? So
Yeah.
How squee did you squee when he requested reinforcements from Commandant Hux?
I squeezed so hard.
I knew it.
Because one, it's Hux's dad. Finally, we get canon Brendel Hux.
Brendel Hux.
And it's played by
his brother, right?
Brother,
yeah.
Right.
So, I think in the whole fanon, we always just assume that Brendel Hux is Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it just fits.
Right.
So, I was a little damn it, they didn't get him. But I'm like, they got his brother, which is just as good.
Somebody singing in the background.
Yeah, that's the shower song.
Oh, righty then.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And so now I have a face to hate for ruining poor Armitage Hux.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because his dad was horrible to him, and that's why him and Phasma killed him. Spoilers.
So that was so in this episode, Moff Gideon's informed by Ella Kane, who was the ex-Imperial, of the Mando's intent to retake the planet, and Gideon relays that information to the Shadow Council. He requests reinforcements from Commandant Hux, and in the absence of Grand Admiral Thrawn, they need new leadership, so that's a huge drop. This is hilarious background.
I can't take it. We should all just be quiet and listen.
You got to teach him to do that.
Okay.
No, that's hilarious. And we've lost Andy. broken by his child. Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm back. I'm off. I'm back.
Sure. Are you all verklempt? It looks like you have the vapors. Oh no, Joe's turned into a berry, and you have vapors.
No, please talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
The Shadow Council and what it means.
Yeah, exactly.
Discuss.
So there's a Shadow Council, which means that the Empire has remnants all over the place that are trying to regain control, and they're preparing for Grand Admiral Thrawn's return. But Moff Gideon is like, hey, we should have other leadership because he's not showing up. So he wants to be the guy. There's a reference to Project Necromancer, which is how the Emperor gets back apparently in the movies.
Yeah.
But that's not him. So hey Andy, mute your shit.
I know.
That was hilarious. So back on Navarro, Bo-Katan unites the Mandalorian clans and prepares a recon party to explore the surface of Mandalore and locate the Great Forge. And before leaving, Grief Karga presents Din Djarin with IG-12, a rebuilt version of IG-11, which is able to be controlled by Grogu. So we get
Oh my god, that was adorable.
we get Grogu Cop out of
this
episode.
This point in the episode, like when he's using the no and the yes.
Oh
I
my
am
god.
dying. It was so stupid.
Yes,
but I was dying.
yes.
Yeah,
And then-
exactly.
And then it transitions to them walking through the little market where yes.
He's eating the stealing the stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
My
good.
favorite meme is the Grogu Cop meme because
Right.
it's just so perfect. But he's basically Krang from the TMNT. Yeah, good times. Let's see. So on Mandalore, the group meets up with another surviving clan who's loyal to Bo-Katan, which I kind of thought that was a missed opportunity for some combat. Is that the voice of Bo-Katan? Like, you abandoned us, we're gonna kill you, kind of thing. But it actually gives us some pretty cool backstory because Bo-Katan admits that she surrendered to Gideon shortly after the Night of 1,000 Tears, hoping that he would spare the rest of her people, and then he just fucks them all over. The party does find the Great Forge, but is ambushed by Beskar enhanced stormtroopers or whatever the fuck they are. Because
God, that scene
so
was cool.
Insane. Yeah. They do a bunch of really great fight scenes there, and then there's a whole like infiltration where a group of them split off, and Din Djarin is captured by Moff Gideon, who shows up in his super Beskar with the spiky, Maul inspired points.
The darkest trooper.
The darkest trooper helmet. Yeah. You have no idea what dark is. He like moves his hair to the side. The goth trooper.
Right. Yeah.
This
Comes
is
out
a rough
to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, exactly. This is a rough episode too because he attempts to kill the search party. Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to make an escape, but Paz the Vizsla stays behind to buy some time because there's too many of them. And then we get the Praetorian Guards come out that were mentioned earlier in the episode, and we haven't seen them since Return of the Jesus, I almost fucking killed that. Since the
Rey
episode,
and Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, the episode that will not be named.
Right.
The hip grab.
Yeah, episode 8.
The
And
delicious
they
hip grab.
kick the shit out of him as they should have. But holy crap, that was
rough to watch.
That was a brutal death, but
It
man,
was.
he went out fighting. So good job there, Paz. Good job, Favs. Yeah, and credits for that episode. That was a rough ending, but made sense.
Yeah.
So then we get to the finale, chapter 24, The Return, which is episode 8 for the season. Also written by John Favs. Let's see. Bo-Katan and her recon squad retreat from Moff Gideon's base. Upon returning to the Mandalorian flagship, Axe Wolves sends the remaining Mandos to reinforce the planetary troops while he defends the ship from the Imperial TIE squadrons coming out of that base. That was one of the things that kind of threw me, like, holy shit, Moff Gideon's been on Mandalore the entire time.
Yeah.
His
Enough
Imperial
to build
army.
that much of a base.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's
holy
been a
shit.
long time. That makes sense, but that actually also makes sense how the what are they tie? They're not interceptors. Advanced, right?
Right. Well, the TIE bombers and then interceptors. Yeah.
Is it
Mhm.
interceptors?
Interceptors
They are,
and the
yeah, with the-
bombers.
Advanced TIE fighters. I forget. Anyway, so it makes sense why they were able to attack Bo-Katan on the moon nearest to Mandalore, because they're not long range fighters. So that made a little bit more sense, actually.
Yeah.
So with the assistance from Grogu, Din Djarin escapes from captivity, seeks out Moff Gideon, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read this point for point.
Yeah.
Why didn't Moff Gideon go after these guys if he had like the mini map?
Right.
And sees
Yeah.
them headed for the clone chamber, because they run across all these clones of Gideon that they destroyed way too easy. Apparently he knew like a cheat code to blow them up, and there's no guards on his most valuable property.
Right. Yeah. Well, I
This
mean, and they
episode
were
was all over the place.
and the disconnect there was that they were so quick to bomb Bo-Katan's castle, right? Earlier in the season. Like they didn't.
Yeah, there's no like lead up to it at all.
Right. Yeah. So it just it seemed weird that there was that there's for everything that was going on there, no security cam.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
or and how does he know how to overload the cloning chambers like super easily, and why are there
Right.
no super trooper guards there if that's like, I'm cloning myself to give myself force powers and shit like that? Like maybe lock the door. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a Windows key L on the keyboard,
Right.
so he can't get
Yeah.
in and blow up your shit. There was a good the fight at the end with Bo-Katan and Din and Grogu against Gideon. The Praetorians was fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff I love about this episode and the season in general, but I think it sums it up pretty well with like every episode is fun to watch and has something to like. They don't all tie together as well as they should, and it kind of leaves you asking, is this like the last Mandalorian season we'll ever get? I think,
Right.
especially with the way they ended it with
Mhm.
with them kicking up at the ranch and like the little circle in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. They destroyed the Darksaber in that fight. That's going to be a thing coming up, I'm sure. It'll be cool
Yeah.
to see if Grogu tries to take that and remake it, or maybe the armorer, because they were able to relight the forge with everybody. So IG-11 comes back as the Marshal in Navarro, which is cool. I mean, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff they set up for another season, but
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think overall?
Well,
I didn't really like the way this.
There's rumors going around that Pascal's not going to come back.
Where did you hear that and why?
Okay, let me do my due diligence.
I mean, wait a minute. I think it makes sense too. He's, he doesn't want to be in a helmet the whole time. I thought they had a really missed opportunity there at the end too, when they're kicking back at the ranch and Grogu is playing with the frogs. He could have taken his helmet off and just set it down next to him, enjoy the sunshine or something like that.
Right. Well, I mean, and they made such a big deal that Bo-Katan, because she walks amongst both
Right.
clans, can take
Right.
hers off.
Yep.
Like, I mean, why not? Because I mean, ultimately it was Din Djarin that brought everybody together in
Right.
a way.
Yep.
Mhm.
So why doesn't he fall in the same category?
Right.
Is it just because he was part of the conclave before their
Yep.
little super group?
The super group. Yeah. Makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I really like the series or the season. Excuse me. I love that it paid a lot of respects to some other things. That whole moment where Grogu's holding back the flames
Yeah.
was very Star Wars Rebels, Kanan Jarrus, like at the end there. There was a bunch of other really good call outs in general, just like the ships that the Mandos were using was awesome. We haven't seen those in live action yet. Oh no, Joe's sending links. Pedro
Uh-oh.
Pascal leaves, but the Mandalorian lives. Well, the Mandalorian was a Grogu the whole time, so that's all right. I really, if they don't give us at some point Grogu in Beskar armor with a lightsaber, I'm gonna be upset. Like,
Well,
adult
I mean,
Grogu.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
but they
not
certainly,
little plate Grogu. You know?
yeah, I mean, no, they certainly
I was-
tease it with giving, I mean, with
Oh,
giving
go ahead.
him, you know, a little bit of armor.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
obviously,
Well,
they
I
can
was
build it.
hoping when they were doing the whole like he can't take the creed because he doesn't talk yet.
Right.
I was hoping he was gonna like say just something like that
Right.
would.
Well, and then
Right.
Mando
We would have
adopts him
gotten his
officially
first-
as
we get
Grogu.
Grogu's first word.
Right.
Right. I mean, it should. This is the way would have been super easy. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I thought because they set that up in Bo-Katan's fighter when they were going to that one part where they all say this is the way, and he got, you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, they could have easily, you know, he could have easily squeaked out a tiny "this is the way," you know,
Right.
and then the armor could have said, "Well, he can talk. Let him begin," and then you fade to black.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might have been a little too heavy-handed, but it
Okay,
seems like
it
there's a lot of
probably-
opportunities there that they chose. They specifically chose not to do those things to set up
Right.
something else, right? So
Yeah.
Like
hopefully
I would
we
have
get that payout.
I would have taken the little Grogu "This is the way" over the like you said the ending at the ranch with the
Right.
Looney Tunes circling.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That was a little just like, oh, come on, man.
I get it. It's
I
you
could
know
take
that
some
would be a
heavy-handed shit.
that'd be a good like series. That's why they were saying like there was a whole thing with Dan Casey on Nerdist. Like, did we just see the series finale? Like, that's a
Yeah.
great way to wrap up the entire thing. You know,
Mhm.
just to end it
Yeah.
on a super chill note. But
Yeah, they
anyway,
hang out in the sunset together.
yeah, I liked it a lot. It wasn't my favorite season. The first one's really good. The second one's
Yeah.
fantastic. This one's probably not as good as the first season, but it had a lot of great action. Visually, it was amazing. But
Yeah, well, and it's weird now too. And again, we're getting out of this sort of the post-COVID era of show production and everything but it seems to be sort of the pace of these sort of special streaming shows where they're not going to start production until it gets renewed. And we, you know, we had Book of Boba Fett in between, but we didn't necessarily get a full season of Mando until what, two years after the last one, you know? And
yeah, it was over 2 years. Yeah.
yeah,
For this
yeah. And so it's, I mean, you get excited, you know, the whole thing about, and especially like, House of the Dragon is going to fall into this category, right? It's going to be a couple of years before we see House of the Dragon season 2.
Yeah.
And
rumors are we're going to get Daenerys in that.
Yeah, so like, you know, but and that's the thing is like, how are we? It's hard to get excited and stay up on a show if it's, you know, like if it takes so long between seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah,
or
they're
it
really
takes so long between
leaning.
season 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're right. They're really leaning on the property, the weight of the name of the property, and the heft that
Yeah.
it has in the industry, and like the fan base that's built in to keep those things going. Because normally, like a new IP like this, it's dead on the vine if you don't have something to follow up with right away. But because
Right.
it's Disney and because it's Star Wars, you know, you're
Yeah.
good to go. I mean, the upcoming shows they have, we get a new Star Wars Visions, by the way, on Thursday, the new animated
Oh,
series.
nice.
That'll be great. Ahsoka comes out in August. Skeleton Crew is still coming out this year. But
Yeah.
then we've got The Acolyte is scheduled for 2024, Andor season 2, 2024, Bad Batch season 3, and Mando season 4 are all TBD, especially now with the writer's strike. That's going to push everything.
Right. Yeah.
Potentially.
So
So-
it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Ahsoka. Like, if you guys haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, fucking
I'm-
please watch it. It's so
I'm gonna
good.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to finish Star Wars Rebels before
Yeah.
that starts.
They're easy
Um,
watches too. They're 22-minute episodes because
right.
they're made for TV. So
Yeah.
this is more for Jobin. Like they're 22-minute episodes, and the story starts off really strong. I just started rewatching with Addie, and was kind of shocked at how strong the story was to start with for an animated show.
Yeah.
And you'll fall in love with the droid. Like their astromech Chopper is like sassy and like punks people and pranks people and like is a badass.
Dude, speaking of droids, can we speak about the redemption of our 5D4 real
Right?
quick?
Oh my god.
the secret spy who blew his motivator on purpose so that R2
Right.
could go with the Skywalkers. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was.
Right, yeah, and apparently the bane of mouse droid's existence.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we also didn't speak about the redemption of Jar Jar Binks.
Dude,
So, yeah, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's right. No, that's right.
What
That
episode was that?
recording we did not
we got
we
the
didn't get a chance to
flashback
talk.
of-
That wasn't the Jack Black episode, was it? Was
No,
that the same
no,
episode?
no.
That was the one before that.
Before it.
Kellerman Beck.
Yeah.
Which-
where is
He was
Which-
the guy that saved Grogu from Order 66.
from Order
Right.
66.
Yeah.
We get the flashback.
which I think it's so funny that they gave weight to this character that was initially a game show host.
Right. Well, in the one of those special things, right?
Right, yeah. So yeah, in the Star Wars specials, Ahmed Best played Jedi Master Kellerman Beck, who was the
Right.
host of a trivia show.
Yep.
Right.
But he's a
And then-
full-on badass in this.
Dude,
and what
that
a
was-
way to
that-
redeem that actor and that character. Like he got shit on for so long. Jar Jar.
That was such an incredible segment.
yeah.
And just the simple decision not to kill him off.
Well, yeah,
No.
there are some really good reviews when I was going back getting ready for this, talking about how great it would have been to see a whole episode with him and Grogu.
Right. Yeah.
Like finding the next step or what's going to happen after they escape from Order 66 and going
Right.
to meet those people that he referred to. He was talking about in that episode. Like we've got friends that we can go hide with or whatever. Like
Right,
that would have been a
yeah.
really cool inside episode. And they might do that still. It was
Well,
really fun
because-
to see Coruscant again too, you know, like
Yeah.
and there was a bunch of Macquarie's like original droids used in this series, original art used in this series, original sets used in this series from way back.
Yeah.
So,
I think we discussed this before, but this is one of those parts where this was in the Pershing episode in Coruscant where the Imperial spy takes him to the mountaintop on Coruscant.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, give it a touch," and then as it's about to touch it, like, you can't touch that.
Right. That's right. Please do refrain from
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that's
said, sorry.
it's okay. Overall, series was amazing. Season
Yeah.
was amazing. We'll see what happens moving forward. I'm excited. It doesn't the way this series kind of ended, the season kind of ended, it was kind of a downer, honestly. The final episode was great, but
Yeah.
like visually, and it was fun, but there's a lot of stuff that really didn't make sense. And you know, I'm not gonna Star Wars it too much, like Star Wars fanboy it too much,
All right.
because it was a fun series.
You're not gonna
season.
Last Jedi it?
Yeah. Right.
Well, Last
yeah.
Jedi is a pile of shit objectively. Okay, this show, however, yeah, it was worth watching with Addie. We had a good time with it, and there's a lot of fun little tidbits that come out of it. But thank God it wasn't as bad as the Book of Boba Fett, and didn't go down the Last Jedi route. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
7 out of 10.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair assessment. And
Yeah.
you know what? If what Joe sent us is true, and Pascal doesn't want to come back, and they don't decide to AI his voice, right, with the other actors that end up portraying the Mandalorian and like the action scenes and whatnot, right? They could easily they're easily in a spot where they can splinter this off into other shows.
Well, right. I mean, you've got
You
You
know,
can follow
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan and
Yeah,
Right,
and you also
yeah.
have oh god, what's her name? Sabine Wren from Rebels, which
Right.
we're getting in live action in Ahsoka, who's
Yeah.
another Mando, who's amazing, and we'll get like tons. Like, if you thought Sabine was getting a ton of play because of this series, wait till if you thought, what the fuck, my brain doesn't work anymore. If you thought Bo-Katan was getting a lot of play from Mando series, wait till you see Sabine Wren in the Ahsoka series. She's
Yeah.
like this young badass artist, demo expert Mandalorian from the show, and that's going to take off. Like it's going to take off like wildfire. I guarantee.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, good shit.
Yeah.
Can't wait for some more stuff. You got real loud all of a sudden, Andy.
Well, I'm sorry. The singing bush behind me stopped. So.
So let us know what you thought about The Mandalorian season 3. Let us know what you're watching, what you're playing. And until next week, we have spoken.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I can. I tried. I tried.
Yes.
Yes. Don't forget to find us on our socials, Rum and Regret Podcast on Facebook, Rum_Regret on Twitter. Nate, where can they find you?
Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all your socials and gaming platforms of choice. And if you decide to murk my crew in Modern Warfare 2, where we're just trying to do missions, don't be surprised when I shoot you and you decide to talk shit in your hillbilly accent and I call you a cousin fucker, because it happened.
Wow.
We went to a very, very dark place.
Yeah, it was not a dark place.
Just
that was
now.
just
Wow.
shit being
Okay.
real.
Do
All right.
we discuss this?
We might. Okay, let's schedule a therapy session for this. This is a good place to start.
Might be a Rum and Regret After Dark.
Yeah, I think so. Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on all the socials or at joechickadee.com.
All right. You can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, at Andrew Drake on Twitter. And until the next time, Nate, we have spoken.
Hillbilly cousin fucker.
No. Yes.
Yes.